Now this, despite questions about its constitutionality, ranked choice voting may be used for Maine's gubernatorial primary in June. The ranked choice voting law was passed by voters a year ago. Then last month, lawmakers voted to delay implementation until 2021 to give supporters time to try and change the Constitution. There's a petition going around right now that could force the issue in time for that primary, though. And here's Don Kerrigan with the details.
November 7th, Election Day in Falmouth. And after casting their ballots, hundreds also signed the People's Veto petition. The Committee for Ranked Choice Voting says it had petitions in many parts of the state that day.
We know that we got around 34,000 signatures on Election Day alone.
They need a little over 60,000 valid signatures, and campaign leader Kyle Bailey says they have about 2 months until the petition deadline to do it. The petition would basically force another statewide vote in June on ranked choice voting. But the People's Veto effort would also freeze the delay that was passed in October, going back temporarily to what voters passed a year ago, meaning the 5-way Republican primary for governor and the 9-way Democratic gubernatorial primary would have to be decided using ranked choice voting.
Someone could win those races with 20 to 25% of the vote, who's under the old system. Under ranked choice voting, the candidate who wins is the one who's supported more broadly by the party.
I would like to see the Constitution amended because then there's no problem.
State Senator and former Secretary of State Bill Diamond says deciding the crowded primary races by ranked choice could take days.
It really is uncharted territory. I think that's a fair statement. And counting the ballots will be a challenge, and a recount will be a challenge on top of that.
And Republican Senator Ron Collins, who helped pass the 4-year delay, says instead of using the people's veto, supporters should work to change the Constitution.
And that hasn't happened yet. And that's the reason why we gave until 2021 to do that, to make those necessary changes. They have plenty of time to do it.
But so far, the legislature hasn't been interested in a constitutional amendment. That's why supporters are pushing for the people's veto. Kyle Bailey says voters are fed up. The next 2 months should show how many agree with him.
Reporting, ranked choice voting would require a special computer system and a program to run all the numbers and figure who actually wins with the majority of the votes. The Secretary of State estimates that would cost about $1.5 million and would most likely be run by a private contractor.